Hello friends, welcome to Insights Encyclopedia. Today in this lecture we are going to cover class 6 NCERT History chapter 5, and this chapter is what books and burial tells us. So in this chapter we have to deal with the books and burials we have found in ancient time, in Mesolithic period or in Neolithic period, and what the burials or the books that we find is referred or tells us, and what we get to know from them about the society, culture and the way of the living of the ancient people. So in this, the story begins with Mary in the library. So Mary, a girl, is in library, and she stepped inside the library and found a shelf full of books in the corner cupboard filled with large old volumes. And after seeing that these books, he referred to the teacher, and the teacher then told them these are the special books of different religions. And you know Vedas? What Vedas? Mary wondered. Let us find out. So this is the story to build up the concept and that how curious the Mary is of finding the Vedas. So in this chapter we are going to refer for the Vedic culture age or the founding of the Vedas, what we get to know from the Vedas and the other books that we found at that time, or the burials that people buried. So how based of the burials of the people, and how many types of the beige the people buried. So these are the things that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So, first of all, the important line is Agni, the god of fire, Indra, a warrior god, and Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared. So, these are the main findings. One interesting fact that is when the yagg are done or the yagg are going, and then we are seeing swaha and we are pouring some materials in the yagg. So, the swaha word, what you mean by Swaha? Swaha is the wife of the Agni, wife of the fire. So Swaha is a we recite Swaha, so that the wife of Agni Dev came, and then the Agni Dev came. So all the gods came here, and fire is the referred to the purity. So let's dive into the next topic, that is Sanskrit and other languages. So here the languages are very important, and Sanskrit is a family of Indo-European language, and some Indian languages that are Assamese, Gujarati, Hindi, Kashmiri, Sindhi, and Asian languages such as Persian, many European languages such as English, French, German, Greek, Italian, and Spanish belong to this family. So Indo-European is a big family of languages. They are called family because they have this same originally had words in common. So, for example, a word is given matra in Sanskrit and ma in Hindi and the mother in English. So, all these have the same meaning and with similar sounds they have. Now, did you notice similarities in other languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam? These are the Dravidian family language, and they have the similarities in them. And the Jharkhand is a part of Central India, belongs to Austroasiatic family. So Jharkhand language referred that. How historians study the Rig Veda? So the basic findings of the Rig Veda are a dialogue between a sage named Vishwamitra and two rivers, Bes and Satluj, that were worshipped as goddesses. So this is the dialogue between Vishwamitra and rivers. So here the Vishwamitra referring to, "O sisters, please come with chariot and cars and all other things." And then after some time, if Vishwamitra referring that, "Please calm down so that the our chariot and cart move through the river and water not rise above the axles." So this is the dialogues between the sage and the rivers. Words to describe people. So for describing the people, there are the birth the priest, sometimes called Brahmins, who performed various rituals, and the Rajas. So Raja, four Rajas, and these Rajas were not like the one you will be learning about later. So what you know about Raja is the supreme leader today, but in ancient time or in Vedic time that is not. They did not have capital cities, palaces, armies, or not they collect taxes. So, and generally, sons did not automatically succeed fathers as Rajas. So the succession rule is not there. They are not for the collection of taxes, or for they don't have any particular their palaces. So they are the common pupils having the leadership quality, so they became Rajas. One of the word jana, which were still used in Hindi and the other language, the other was bis. The word bes comes from bis. So bes is a four type of varnas we have. These are the Brahma, that means Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Vaishya one are the third one. They are for the purpose of fulfilling the materialistic needs of societies. Sometimes the people who composed the hymns described themselves as Aryas and called their opponents Dasaj or Dasyus. So the concept of Aryas are referring as the superiority. So they refer himself or herself as Aryas and other as the Dasaj or the servants. And Dasaj and Dasyus are the servants which were captured in a war time. If a war happened between two groups and the prisoners of the defeated ones are called known as Dasyus or Dasaj. Silent centralized the story of the megaliths. So the story of megaliths here. These stone boulders are known as megaliths. Megalith means literally big stones, and the beginning of the megalith began around 30,000 years ago. So this is the burial site of the megalith. This type of megalith is known as cities cyst. Some cyst like the one shown here have porthole which could be used as an entrance. So this is the porthole here. So sometimes archaeologists find a circle of stone boulders or a single large stone standing on the ground. These are the only indication that there are the burial beneath. So from this we conclude that it is a burial site. And the equipments are also found like the iron equipment found from megalithic burial. These are the iron equipment. Left of horse equipment, left below axis, this is axis, and this is a dagger. Finding about social differences. Social differences are also be seen at that time. For example, one skeleton was buried with 33 gold beads, two stone beads, four copper bangles, and one conch seal. But on the other hand, some skeletons have only a few pots. So this is the way forward a line between a rich and the poor people in the time of the burials we found. They buried, and you get to know a word portholes. So portholes are holes beneath the burial site. These are used to introduce a new body or the upcoming buried body who died after the family. One member died and the second one died, so he also engraved in the same grave through that hole. A special burial at Inamgaon. So we are now going the Inamgaon in detail. Inamgaon, it is a site on the river Ghor, a tributary of the Bhima river, and it's between 3600 to 2700 years ago. And these houses had granary in them. The body was placed in a cross-legged position, or the body of the Inamgaon we find buried are in cross-legged position. What skeletal studies tell us? So now we are going to know about the skeletal study. So a better way of figuring out the sex of a skeleton is to look at the bone structure. So how we get to know about the from skeleton that this is a man or a woman? So the hip or the pelvic area of woman is generally large to enable childbearing. So from that we get to know about the structure of the body, and then we decide to predict the nature of the skeleton, that is a man or a woman. About 200 years ago, there was a famous physician named Charak, and you know about the book Charak Samhita. There he stated that the human body has 360 bones, but the number is 206, recognized in modern anatomy. But there is a difference. How this difference came? Because Charak arrived at this figure by counting the teeth joints and cartilage. So he also added the 32 teeth joint and the cartilage joint, some of them. Soon they referred as 360 bones. Occupation at Inamgaon. So what are the occupations? So they are the farmers. They use the seeds of wheat, barley, rice, pulse, millet, peas, and sesame. Bones of the animals, many bearing cut marks that shows they have been used as a food. So animals are used as a food, and the bones of that animals have cut marks on them. We also here found the cattle, buffalo, goat, sheep, dog, horse, ass, pig, sambar, spotted deer, black bug, antelope, hare, and mongoose, besides bird, crocodile, turtle, crab, and fish. So these are the animals that the skeleton of these animals, or the findings related to the animals, we find in Inamgaon. And the fruits like such as beer, amla, jamun, date, and a variety of berries were collected here. So the Inamgaon story is over, and in elsewhere we have the something new, that is finding in China around 3500 years ago. So here we find the bones on which something is written on the bones, and the writings are called uh, and these bones with writing are called oracle bones because they were used to predict the future, and these bones are used for prediction of the future. So there are some are there are some experts or the persons who predicted the future from these bones by showing the fortune tellers predicted from the because when these bones are picked up and they are fired in a fire, then the cracks happened on them bones, then they seeing the cracks, fortune tellers predict the fortune of that kingdom, about the king or the place in the cities. So here the one interesting question is, list one difference between the Raja of the Rig Veda and these kings. So what are the difference between the Rajas of Rig Veda and these kings? So there are a lot of the difference. What the one major difference is, the Rig Vedic period king is not a ruler king. He not ruled over the people. Here he is a representative of the king, and he doesn't have there any expense on the pupil from that he giving, and he is not collecting any kind of taxes. But in later days we find that the tax collection is happening, and Raja is maintaining their army, having the great palaces and all these things. So in keywords of this chapter we have these all the are the simple keywords. So you go through the keywords, and the important dates are: beginning of the composition of the Vedas is around 3,500 years ago. Beginning of the building of megaliths about 3000 years ago, and settlement at Inamgaon between 3600 to 2700 years ago, and Charak is about 2000 years ago. And so this is the last of the chapter. Thanks for watching this chapter, and the PDF you find in the description box and on my Telegram channel. So keep watching the series of the all chapters of class 6 NCERT history. Thanks for watching.